Hi everyone. So one of the most notable bits of behind the scenes gaming news this week, I guess, was Diablo creator David Brevik saying that he's dismayed at the way modern ARPGs have, as he describes it, cheapened the entire experience. Now, the feature he describes they're either good or bad, I suppose, depending on your point of view. It is, of course, subjective, but for me, I sort of agree with what he's saying. I've actually thought similar things myself when playing recently Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2, but I actually don't agree with his conclusions. I'll tell you why. So you've all probably read what Brevik has said, but just to summarize so we're clear, he says there's this like instant gratification element. I think he was thinking probably largely of Diablo 4 when compared with Diablo 2, which he developed. But obviously, as the creator of Diablo and Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, you're going to be very interested in its successors, even if you didn't work on them, because, you know, it's part of your legacy. He suggests that the rapid fire nature of these games now, with like endless swarms of monsters and, loads and loads of loot dropping, are cheapening the experience. But here's where I think I differ with him. Let's first look at the games I have spent some time playing the last few years. Now, I've spent longer on some games than others, but I've spent a reasonable amount of time playing the following: World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, Diablo 3, Diablo 4, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, because I keep going back to them. Some Baldur's Gate 3 last year. More recently, Path of Exile 2. Those games cover probably about three distinct genres, but they're all fantasy role-playing adventure games in one form or other. Now, most recently, I've been spending more of my gaming time on Diablo 4, Path of Exile 2, which is what I'm mostly playing right now. And yes, there have been times when I've been running through the story and I thought to myself, there's just too many packs of mobs. I was thinking, look, I just want to get to this next bit of the story. There's too much. And, it's hard just to stop for a moment. And with Path of Exile 2 in particular, you're either going back to town literally every 3 minutes, or you're leaving piles of loot laying on the ground. That's annoying. I get that. But that's more to do with the stingy inventory. I actually don't have that problem with Diablo 4. You finish a reasonable section of content, then you go back to town. Your bags are fine. But I'm not a fan of either of those two features as such. But I also don't agree with Breivik's conclusions. And why not? Because my personal opinion is that some of the best fantasy adventure gaming these days is to be found in MMOs. Although their main focus is getting lots of players working with each other, they have over the years become really, really good solo games. Now, I recently got a character to level cap in Lord of the Rings Online. I didn't group with anyone once. I played it as if it were a single player game. I absolutely loved the experience. I would say Elder Scrolls Online is the better one for that experience. I think Elder Scrolls Online does the best job as if you're just wanting to play a single player online adventure game. I actually think that's the best one. I think World of Warcraft does better overall these days. It's done much better in terms of the casual game. But all of those games are really good adventure games. So when you're wanting an adventure role-playing game, I personally find some of the MMOs give the best experience. Then there's like Baldur's Gate 3. That's also good. That's got a different style where you manage a group of adventurers. That works well as well. And there are others as well. There's Avowed coming up, which looks quite reasonable as well. So there are different ways of having an adventure role-playing game experience. But given that I can get my adventuring fix from other types of game, what would an ARPG have to offer someone like me? Because I can't personally compare Diablo 2 with Diablo 3 or 4. I've played Diablo 3 and 4, not Diablo 2. Why didn't I play it? I mean, I've played computer games for over 40 years. Why wouldn't I have played such a big title? Because it made no offer to me. There was never a point where I thought, oh yeah, this could fill a niche. If I play a game, it means I have to stop playing another game. I only have so much time, and at any one time I sort of concentrate on one particular game for like a few months, then probably go to another. It's the same reason I never played Path of Exile 1. I might have absolutely loved it. But there was never a point where I felt the games I was playing at the time weren't quite scratching an itch that Path of Exile promised to fill. But the likes of Diablo 3 and 4, even Path of Exile 2, they are different to those other games I play, specifically because they are fast-paced monster killing sprees. The storyline's still there, and that's absolutely vital to draw me in. I'm no longer interested in games which don't tell a coherent story. I used to play a very wide variety of games a long, long time ago. Not anymore. For me now, it really has to be an adventure RPG of some kind. But within that, I can appreciate different ways of playing a game. If I'm interested in the in-depth adventure, then there are already games that I like for that. MMOs, I think there's always so much to explore in an MMO that I'll just keep going back to them. A game of the style of Diablo 2 could never win my time. It was very, very popular, but it could never win my time. But Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2, they're different because that's a very different way of playing. And it's different in a way that Brevik thinks detracts from the adventure, and it does detract from it. But if you took those elements away, I would say what is left that distinguishes it from the other ways of playing online adventure games? It's the action in ARPGs that distinguishes it. I mean, even if you look at a game like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, you can get that same adventure now in Elder Scrolls Online, in the MMO version. And although there will be people, of course, who agree with Brevik, obviously he won't be a lone outlier, the success of games like Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2 mean there are fans of that modern form. But that's what I think anyway. If Diablo 4 were just like Diablo 2, I wouldn't have played it. I'd have had no need to play it. It wouldn't offer me anything new. I have other games that I'm perfectly happy to spend my time on and will go back to again that would have fulfilled that same appeal. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.